Good morning, children. Hope you are doing good. So take care of yourself. So today in the EVS class, we'll go to the next lesson, lesson 8. In this, we learn about safety and discipline. So what does the lesson say? Talk about safety and discipline. So there are a few pictures given in the on page 51, page number 51. And what do you see? We see a boy who's touching the PowerPoint and is getting a current shock. Okay, and then here's another boy who is climbing over the compound wall and he actually falls down and hurts himself. And there's a girl who's actually digging her ears with a pencil. And here's another girl, she's using a sharp object, that's the knife, and cuts her finger and it's bleeding. And this is a boy who's crossing the road without seeing left or right. And there's a vehicle coming and he's just crossing the road. And this is a girl who's bursting crackers, lighting the crackers with her hand and not keeping it on the ground. So what do you see from these pictures? These are something which is really dangerous and we have to be very careful when handling all these things. If, for example, PowerPoint, you cannot put your finger into the pinholes of the plug point or you'll get current shock, so you're not supposed to do that. And you have the gate to come out of the compound. You must not climb over the wall and jump down. You might fall and fracture your hands and legs. And then you should not dig your ears with the pencil, pen or any sharp objects. It will again hurt your ears, it will tear your eardrum and then you will not be able to hear. So you only have to use the earbuds to clean your ears, no sharp objects. And then this girl is using a knife. When you use a knife, you must be very careful, and you children should take the help of your parents. Without your parents' assistance, you cannot use her sharp object. Now when you use knife, blade, sharpness, anything, you might accidentally cut your finger, start bleeding, which is dangerous for you. So always do it under the monitoring of your parents. Next is crossing the road. What is the safety that you should follow while crossing the road? While you cross the road, you have to see on your right if any vehicles are coming, then on your left, and there are no vehicles close to you is when you have to cross the road. The vehicles have to be really far, have to cross. It's better you all follow the traffic signals. When there is a red light for vehicles, that's when you have to cross the road. On the zebra crossing, not on the middle of the road. On the zebra crossing is where you cross. So when there is a red light for walking symbol, then you cannot cross the road. You have to wait for the green light to cross, and there will be a red light for the vehicles to stop. So when the red light is on for the vehicle to stop, you have to cross the road on the zebra crossing. Otherwise, you will end up meeting with an accident which could be fatal. Okay? And then bursting crackers. How do you burst crackers? You keep it down, have a long agarbatti or to light it. You cannot hold it with a flame or agarbatti in your hand and light the crackers and throw it. That's really dangerous because it might burst in your hand and you will lose your hand. So these are the really dangerous things where you have to be very safe and follow the safety measures. So what does the questions ask you? Do you see danger in the above pictures? Yes, all these are very dangerous. What are they? The first one is a current shock. The second is climbing over a high wall. You might fall down and break your hands and legs. You using sharp objects in your hand, or using the sharp objects in your ear, or using a sharp object to cut your anything, cut vegetables, and using a knife which will cut your fingers, crossing of road and lighting the crackers in your hand, bursting the crackers with your hand. So these are all the dangerous things which you are not supposed to do. Have you ever done this before? If you have done this before, please do not continue again. Please do not repeat it again, because these are very dangerous. Have you ever faced any such danger? Have you all faced any such danger while crossing the road without seeing on either side, and a cycle fellow or bike fellow comes and knocks at you? Or you all must have climbed some tall places, high walls, and fallen, cut your fingers? Let me know and write it over here. So next, observe your elders at work. Imitate them. Follow the advice of your elders and teachers, then you will be safe. So you have to see how your elders do. The elders will take lot of cautions to do anything. When your mama is cutting vegetables, she'll ensure that she holds it a little far from the knife and cuts it carefully so that she doesn't cut her finger. When your dad is working with electrical things, he ensures that the switch is put off and see why the things fix the things. So he will not go and repair something which is with a switch on. So he will ensure put off the switches and fix the thing. So that's how you have to follow the elders, where whatever they are doing, they'll do it with safety, and you have to listen to the advice of your elders, that's your teachers and your parents. Then you will be safe. Now what is next? Observe the picture given below. Tell what you see in this picture. What do you see in this picture? You see few ants going in a trail, one behind the other, in a straight line, in a line. They are not scattered all over. They are in a line. So what does this say? This talks about discipline. So ants are known to be very good when it comes to discipline. So what does this picture say? It says that you have to be very disciplined in whatever you do. So the ants follow each other in a train, in a line, and they go. If one ant goes on a curve, the others also, the rest of the ants behind will follow one behind the other. So that is what discipline is. If you go in a group, you're scattered. It looks so odd. That is not discipline. When you go in a line for everything, that is what discipline is. So we as human beings should be much more intelligent than the small ants. Okay, so when ants can follow the certain pattern and discipline, we are human beings. We can talk, we can think more than the ants. So we should also ensure that we follow discipline in whatever we do. Okay, that's what the ants teach you. So if you will see a trail of ants on your walls in your house, okay, I'll tell you all to do something. So when you see the ants on the wall, what you'll do, take a chalk piece or a pencil and try to draw a circle there. With a few ants in between. When you draw the circle, just observe what happens. What happens when you observe? When the ants are going in a trail, and when you draw a circle, the ants which are inside the circle will go one round in search of the way and then still follow the same trail. So that is their discipline. So try that and do, okay? But ensure to erase that circle at home, otherwise your mama and dad are going to hold you responsible with that. Okay, so let's go to the next page, number 53. Put a tick mark if you feel it is correct and mark X if you feel it is wrong. So I have done the exercise for you all here. So what does the first picture say? There's a bus stand and people are all in a group over there. So it says that is wrong. So how do you get into a bus? In a bus stand, if you are standing in a queue, each one will have their turn coming and then you can smoothly get into the bus, go and sit. But when you all go together in a group and jam at the bus entrance, what will happen? Nobody can actually enter. You'll push each other. I'm going fast, I need to get the bus soon, I have to get the seat. All that scattering, pushing each other, is there any discipline in that? No. Everybody will get their turn if you stand in a queue, and it's easy for you all to get in rather than crowding up near the entrance of the bus, and then neither you can get in nor you can let others get in. So the best way is to form a queue and get into the bus. So that is what it is stand in a queue for the bus and get into the bus one after the other. So that's the right. The first one is wrong. And this is a post office. People have come to send letters, mails, whatever. And what happens here? Again, they are crowded with that person in the reception. So, person cannot attend to everybody at the same time, right? He will have to attend one person at a time. So, if you are in a queue, you go to bank, post office, any places, do not scatter in a queue. Even when you go to hospital, take turn. When somebody is already there, just stand behind that person. That person has come before you. Let him finish his work. Then when that person leaves, you can go and do your work. If you are crowded over there, there is nobody to attend to 10 people at one time. Can you talk to 10 people at one shot? No, each one will have different issues, right? So, the best way is to stand in a queue and wait for your turn and get it done smoothly without any hassles. Standing in a crowding up is not going to happen. So, the first one is wrong, second one is right. In the first, the teacher is in the class, she wants to correct everybody's book. What you all will do? All rush and take your books and go. Is that right? No, the teacher can correct one book at a time. She can talk to one child at a time when she is correcting her book, the book. So what she does, come in the queue and submit your assignments, your books to the teacher in a queue. It will be easy for her to correct and tell you all if there is any corrections to be done. So that is right. Not crowding. When you go to fill water, the water tanker comes, what do you do? All rush with the buckets and pots and try to fill the water. Nothing is going to happen. Water will be flowing down, everybody will be fighting for your turn. Instead, just whoever goes first, stand in the queue. Then the rest will follow you at the back. Then you all can fill water without wasting water. Okay, so first is wrong, the second one is right. So that's what you have to give reason why you're marking it wrong and right. So I have told the reasons for you all. Okay, I hope you all understand. Read the statement given below. Put a tick mark if the statement is correct and an X mark if it's wrong. Standing in a queue is a waste of time. So if you stand in a queue is a waste of time? No, that's a wrong statement. When you stand in a queue, things happen quick and smoothly. So there's no wastage of time. All will get sufficient water if you wait for a turn. Correct. If you are in the crowd, you will not get enough of water. There will be only wastage of water. If you are in the queue, everybody can fill and go and there will be no wastage of water and everybody will get sufficient water. There will be no problems if you follow the queue. Correct. It is good if you stand in a queue to get into the bus is also correct. So put tick mark for that. So in the next picture, what do you see? You see a landscape. There are different houses, different building, a bus stand, a bus on the road, and a water tank, house, hospitals, government school, trees. There are streets. Now let's see what the questions are here. Why do we need street lights? Why do you need street lights? If there are no lights in the evening, in the night, what happens? It's dark. Can you walk on the road if it's dark? No, you can barely see anything on the road. Vehicles can knock you and go, right? When you are in the street, we are walking around, there will be dogs barking at you. If there is no light, how will you walk? So you need light to see things around, right? To get rid of darkness. So why do we need street lights? We need lights to see everything in the dark. Why do we need school? There's school. Why do we need school? Why are we taking all these online classes for you all even if during the lockdown? It's because you have to get educated. If you don't go to school, you will not learn to read and write, and then you will not be an educated person. So you go to school to get educated, to learn to read and write. And you will not learn all these disciplines. Who will teach you all? Your parents will teach to some extent. Your teacher will make you sit and explain to you all why it's too good to follow safety rules and to be a disciplined child, right? So you have to go to school. What is the use of bus station? Bus station is required so that all the buses come to one stop where everybody can take bus. Otherwise on the roads you can't just show an auto and stop and get into, you can't do that. So it's good to have bus station so that the buses are in one place and it's a public transport. So people will go, they'll know this is a place for the bus to come, so you'll get into the bus. Why do you go to a hospital? To treat yourself. These are the facilities we need. Name the facilities available in your locality. Otherwise, observe why people in your locality use these facilities. So there are some facilities in the, like street lights, having school, bus stations, hospitals, fire service. All these are different facilities we have in our localities, in our area. When you say locality, it means in your area. So these are all available because you need, when you have bus, you can go from one place to another place. When you are sick, you can go to hospital. When you want to learn and get educated, you go to school. You need lights to see around, so you need street lights. Okay, so when there's fire accident, there's fire service should come and put off the fire, right? So all these are required. So this is a need for having such, there is a need for having such facilities. So look around your house, look around the place where you all are staying, living, and see what all your facilities you all have. There will be different kind of facilities available for you all. Okay, so that's what we are blessed with. We have to thank our government, people around us to provide us such facilities. So children, I will send you all the notes on this lesson. So all that you all have to learn is to learn to be safe and in a disciplined manner. Okay, that's it for today. Take care. Goodbye.